Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour.
Hello everyone, hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to the second episode of the series where I just sit down for 5 more minutes and discuss all the pressing issues surrounding Tottenham. Now, if you cast your minds back a few months, our owners released a PR statement stating, how they care about the club and they promised to invest in the squad, they promised to back the manager, they promised to do all these lovely things. Promises, and of course, them being themselves, they were promises that they haven't kept or that they haven't even followed through on. Here we are a few months later, and we're in a position where we're struggling to fight for the top four. We have a squad, other players that just aren't good enough to even challenge for a Europa League spot. We have a lack of depth in the squad that has been there for, you could argue, 3 years now. But at least the business is good. At least the shirt sales and all that stuff is thriving, because that's all these owners seem to care about. I mean, this negligence, as I'd like to call it, started under Pochettino. Those two consecutive transfer windows, where Daniel Levy and the board decided, you know what, we're going to spend nothing. We're just going to be really, really tight and spend absolutely nothing. I don't think even the vast majority of fans know how much those two transfer windows have hurt us and how badly they've hurt us just in the long run. I mean, we're still seeing the effects of those two transfer windows. I mean, we're still seeing the effects of transfer windows where we sold our best players but haven't replaced them, particularly Dembele and Christian Eriksen. I mean, we have yet to find a creative midfielder that has filled that position. I mean, okay, you could argue we tried to fill that gap with the likes of Ndombele and Lo Celso, but then, and those were just signings that weren't given much thought. I mean, Ndombele is our most expensive ever player, and look what's happened to him. Look what he hasn't done. I mean, that's embarrassing. And even in this transfer window alone, we're after Adama Traore, yeah? It's now 5 days until the end of the window, and Traore still hasn't come in the door. And is there anyone else who we want to sign? Yeah, but will we get them? I don't think we will. I mean, these are all rumours at the end of the day. Daniel Levy and the board are so tight that they are arguing over whether they want to pay 15 million or 20 million for one player that isn't even that isn't even like a world-class player. I mean, just get the deals done. This has been a recurring theme throughout these transfer windows. Why did we miss out on Fernandes? Why did we miss out on Dybala? Because Daniel Levy had to be himself and just didn't want to pay the amount of money available. Hang on a second now. A report came out a few months ago stating that we could spend up to £400 million in a transfer window. Now, realistically, even if LENIC were investing properly into players and helping to improve the squad, there's no way they'd spend even close to that. I don't think that's physically possible. But, I mean, anything has to be better than what they're doing now. And this is one of the main reasons why the LENIC Out campaign exists. Why people like Brian Daigle are on the front line every single day protesting to get them out of our club. Because they've been here for over 20 years now and they've done basically nothing. And for some reason, in the past 5 years, their investment, or albeit their lack of investment, has gotten worse. I mean, at least back in the early 2010s, we were bringing in players like Modric, Van der Vaart, etc. And even Gareth Bale turned out to be an absolute steal. We got him for so cheap, and look at the player he turned into. And then later on, we try and get him back for an even bigger price. And thanks to Mourinho, F all happened with him. So these owners, they either have to start committing more to the football side of things, or in my opinion, they just have to leave, or just hire. I mean, they did hire someone to focus on the football side of things, but of course, Daniel Levy had to hold him back. I mean, do you honestly think that a Paratici was given full reign in and full control over transfers, we would be in this position where we're struggling to get just one player in an entire transfer window. So far, I mean, it's 26th of January. We have gotten 0 players in, and even you could argue even worse, we've gotten 0 players out. We have still a fair amount of deadwood in this team, and the question I ask is this: is it more important that we get out our deadwood players, or is it more important that we bring in good players but still have the deadwood players in the squad? So I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much for watching this video. And also, once more, thank you so much for getting us to 3k subscribers. We really appreciate the support you're giving us. And also stay tuned for these vids as well, because the plan is for me to pump them out every single day. So I'll leave you with the famous words, come on you Spurs, and Levy out.
Tottenham On Tour. Tottenham On Tour.